Okay, so it's the new Netflix series that has true crime fanatics absolutely hooked. The TV adaptation based on the high-profile 1989 crime, two brothers found guilty of murdering their parents in one of the most watched televised trials in America. I spoke to the key cast of Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story.
You're gonna be like the Kennedys. That's why it was so hard on us. And it's never gonna end. You can never escape from it. And I was always going to choose my brother over my parents.
Gentlemen, greetings from Sydney. How you doing?
Good, Richard.
Let's start with you, Nicholas, playing Lyle. How much of the story did you know before you got into it?
So I was not familiar with the Menendez brothers prior to receiving the audition. And then you hope that you book the job so that your education about these brothers and what they went through and the events surrounding this all can continue. Thank God it did.
Cooper playing Eric, incredible. You met him with Kim Kardashian in prison. Tell me about that.
Thanks to both Kim and Scott Budnick. They're very involved in prison reform, and they had a trip planned to go down there to RJ Donovan to talk about Lyle and Eric's green space project that they've been spearheading for a while, which is kind of to just make prison spaces more like a college campus. It was so amazing. I got to go there, sit in a circle with a bunch of incarcerated individuals, hear their stories, and I got to meet them, and I got to hug them and look them in the eyes and just tell them that I believe them, I support them, I'm an advocate for them, and I did everything in my power as an actor to portray Eric with the accuracy and authenticity.
I see what happens when kids don't get the nurturing they need.
What's going on with you boys? I won't tell anyone.
Ari, tell me about Leslie and how you got into the character.
Leslie Abramson, legendary defense attorney, death penalty defense attorney in the early 90s. She had a real holistic view of humanity in a way that I don't think we often see a criminal defense attorney necessarily think that they hold.
Nathan, you have played so many wonderful, fabulous characters over the years, but it's a bit different, I would suggest, when you're diving into the real life news cycle. Tell me about playing Dominic.
You know, you do research and you look on YouTube and tons of interviews with him because I wanted to sort of capture his cadence and tone. And then just the writing of the show itself was, the character was so beautifully written.
Ryan Murphy is a creative genius, and he's known for his attention to detail, specifically with regards to casting. And at least from my perspective, I think he made no mistakes. It was a joy to play with Cooper, as well as Javier, Chloe, Ari, Nathan, and the list goes on and on and on.
They're parasites, actually. They've turned us into people we don't want to be. And I regret having you.
Mom, you can't say that.
Please shut up, for Christ's sake.
Kitty.
Nope. I could have been a movie star like Kim Novak.
The Menendez brothers are reportedly disappointed with their representation. What do you say to the backlash?
You know, it's really, really difficult to have your life be retold in a dramatized television series, and not just your life, but like the most traumatic part of your life be sort of televised. It's so difficult. And so all I can say is that I understand and I empathize and I stand with him, and I get it.
Ari, doing something that's rooted in reality, what do you hope people will take away from this?
Look, I saw this whole show through Leslie Abramson's point of view, and it's a strong point of view. And I think the beauty of the show is that it's showing all different perspectives. You're holding all of these realities. There are a lot of thoughts. You hold them, you see the whole, you make your own judgments. For me, I've been thinking as Leslie for the last year or so. And I think for me, the biggest takeaway in some ways through the work of her, and especially through the work of episode 5 and watching her relationship develop with the boys and Eric specifically, is what happens when kids don't have a place to talk, when they can't talk and they can't be listened to before this tragedy occurs. That the way Leslie and Eric sit and and she holds space for him in such a beautiful way to speak the unspeakable. I've often thought what would have happened if a conversation like that would have happened for him 10 years before. And I think that was a profound takeaway for me.
Gee, it's an incredible cast, isn't it? Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story is doing big business on Netflix right now. It could not be more controversial if it tried, I don't think, you two.
No, Vicky, that was a great set of interviews there. And also, everyone in the office is talking about this show too. So get on it this weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.